got to make it your own trip. It should be your own tour guide. Go in, ask questions, get familiar, hear the local, color.
You know, and I'm sure people who do have these properties, obviously they love to tell their story.
They do. They love to tell their story. And you'll always run into someone that either had worked somewhere before, another place, or they'll have another story to tell, or they'll direct you another place. So it's this really fun camaraderie that happens with this book. And what has really been fun is it's not just for the ghost hunter, it is also for the history buff, because it's what happened to get us to where we are today.
Sure, exactly.
Yeah, so the book is really a lot of fun. My father, who's one of the biggest critics in the world, said it was a page turner.
Okay.
Yeah, he loved it.
Well, Tracy, now I know that you've been on the show before and you've answered this question, but in case anybody missed the show, because this is obviously an update, why don't we talk about what got you involved with this project in the first place?
Well, when I was a kid, I grew up in a haunted house.
Okay.
Then when I
Where
moved,
was that?
That was in California,
Okay.
in Naples, Long Beach. Lived in an old Spanish mansion on a canal.
Okay.
And we would try and scare our friends and tell my brother to go hide in a specific place in the house, and we'd tell scary stories and get the kids all upstairs, and then we'd see my brother come out of a hall closet and then back in, and all the girls would scream and we'd just be cracking up, and he'd come out of one of the bedrooms next to us. We'd think, we'd scream and run down and join our friends. And but there was lots of things. Things would move in front of you. Things would disappear, constantly your toothbrush, which when we were kids we didn't really care about.
Right.
But, I don't know if they were being nice to us or just wanted to give us rotten teeth.
So, I mean, your parents saw them too. It wasn't just you kids who saw the...
No, they would never admit to us that they did see them. They'd always say, oh, well, we're guests in their house, and so just be nice and polite and keep their house nice and clean. So it was a good way to get us to clean our rooms. But I always was writing. Even as a little kid, I had the Ghost Getters. And we were going to get together, my little sister and brother and my girlfriend and I, and our story was going to be like a Nancy Drew. We were going to have a ghost take us on this mystery of a murder, and we were going to solve the murder. So, I mean, I've always been interested. I've always wanted to write a story or write something like that. But actually, as I got older, and I started hearing about the history of our area and how many strange stories there are. I mean, truly, the amount of interesting stories. I feel like a tree, and I've got my roots every town I'm in. I can't hardly get out because there's so much to write about. I could spend a year in every town. So it's been interesting. I have on my desk piles of stories, and I have to go through and pick which few I'm going to use, and it's really tough. But it's a dream come true for me because it feeds all of the things that I love, especially doing the show and producing the show, and then as well doing the book and having it out there. And it's been very well received. We've sold a few hundred in the first couple weeks.
Great.
Yeah, and then hopefully at the end of the month, off our website, you'll be able to upload it to your Kindle.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, yeah, it's really fun. And then the local businesses that are in the book, if you go to our website, you can hit their little tab, and it'll take you to their website.
Okay.
So that's really fun, and there's a lot of networking, a lot of web networking going on, but mostly what's really exciting, it's about us in our own backyard, and what's coming next. So it's been wonderful. It's been really fun to do. And the books are available all up and down 3rd Street. Harvest Fresh, 3rd Street Books at McMinimans as well, and Northwest Food and Gifts all have books. We have books out in Newburgh and Salem, and hopefully in Powell soon.
Sure.
So
your plan then is to do all of the towns in Yamhill County.
Correct.
And then perhaps branch out from there.
Right.
Okay.
Possibly then Portland, or who knows.
Or maybe Long Beach.
Yeah, or maybe Savannah. I mean,
yeah, you know, yeah.
I would love to go to Georgia or, you know, Louisiana, or one of those places that fascinate me. I love all that deep-rooted folklore and a good scary story. I just, you know, there's nothing like it.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
And now I have so many good stories to tell around the fire at night.
Yeah, I was, you know, when you were talking about this, I was actually thinking of my cousin and I. And when we were kids, you know, we'd turn off the light in my bedroom and we'd tell each other these, you know, scary stories. And I had this one record, you know, it was a record, and we'd play it. And at the end, it's like, I told you you'd be sorry, you know. And by that time, the hair on our arms would be standing up and we'd be like, oh, and we'd have to run and go turn on the light because we'd scare ourselves silly, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, we had the same record. We had, I don't know if it was the same record, but my sister and I had
With the black
Telltale Heart.
The black velvet ribbon around her slender neck.
Oh my goodness. We had the pounding of his heart.
Oh yeah.
And then the cover of the record was so scary we had to have our mom hide it on top of the refrigerator because we couldn't sleep if it was out.
You know, it's kind of funny because kids do love that. And then by and large, you know, people grow up and get busy with their life and don't think about it anymore so much unless somebody like you comes along and says, hey, you know, we're going to sort of re-examine all that stuff.
Oh, right. And it's going to be fun because actually there's some of the best Bigfoot Sasquatch sightings, which is going to be coming up as I move through Yamhill County. I'm going to be doing the UFO sighting. So it's not all just going to be spirits. You know, it's going to be good wine and look on the side of the road to see what you might see.
Oh, you know, that's true because the UFO sighting was Yamhill, right?
Right, it is Yamhill. It's Sheridan. And for some reason, it was so funny. I was talking to someone and I was saying, no, it's Dayton. And she's saying, no, it's Amity. And I thought, no, I'm sure it's Dayton. She
it's
says,
the
no,
Trent Farm.
I'm sure it's Amity, but it's not. It was in Sheridan. And then one of the my favorite Sasquatch stories was out of Sheridan as well. Although,
really?
Yeah. Although just this last year they had a report of a little girl, not that little, but heading off of Baker Creek Road, going down to the bus station, and saw a Sasquatch.
Did she? Wow.
Yeah, there's probably like 20 different stories on Yamhill County of that.
Have you had an opportunity to interview her?
Not yet. Not yet. But I think I'm gonna stick with the Sheridan story because I've already got McMinnville wrapped up.
It's like, okay, you're put to bed. That could be round two, but
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's so many. It's Carlton, Yamhill, McMinnville, and a lot of out Baker Creek. Just to give it, if anybody wants to know, a lot out Baker Creek Road, and a lot of times it's like dusk or early morning. You know, and interestingly enough, a number of the stories, the Sasquatch has light hair, like a gray fur instead of black.
Well, he's getting older.
I would think.
Yeah.
You know, but then one of the stories was two young, light-haired Sasquatches. They thought they saw. So you know, you take it with a grain of salt. I mean, you have to take all of the stories.
Sure.
You know, I do believe that there's some base of fact or something did happen to these people. Something did occur. I know I've seen things that I didn't plan on seeing.
Sure. Oh yeah.
And a lot of things are happening to us while we're out shooting and on location and talking to owners and you know, it seems as if the spirits want to let us know they're there.
You know, it's kind of interesting because you know, you'll run across people, well, ghosts do not exist. I mean, and they're just absolutely positive that this can be explained away with, you know, I don't know, some scientific explanation or whatever it is. And then you talk to somebody who's seen one, who's absolutely seen one, and they say, well, I know I'm not crazy, and, you know, maybe I wasn't sure before, might have been pretty skeptical, but if you see the cowboy, for example, it's pretty hard to pretend you didn't see it or deny that you saw it.
Right. Well, I don't know what I saw.
Yeah.
So I love that in Serendipities, one of the sightings was a woman at the turn of the century with her little daughter, and really, really clear was the little white dress with the lace-up black boots heading up that staircase, which is blocked off, and they disappeared.
Wow.
So that's really fun. You know, there's a lot of stuff, this old restaurant and La Ramblas too, and that's so fun because these are all places people can go. You know,
have heard from a lot of different people that up in, Matt and Marilyn Works' apartment, the stairs going up and different places that people have reported seeing at different times have reported seeing the same figures. It's not like it's just this parade. It's the same people that they see over and over. So which lends more credibility to it, in my opinion, because if you just turn around and see something, you think, oh my gosh. And it's not just a fleeting thing, but you're really looking at something that's there.
Right.
And then you go in and you tell your hostess, you will never believe what I saw on the stairs. And she says, oh, that's just, we see that all the time. And you think, oh.
Well,
okay.
And it was really cute. One of the stories that was from a gal who's one of their dear friends who was helping them. They were going to do a big function. And so she's helping set up. And this woman came up behind her and she thought she was a hired maid and said, don't mess up the floors.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, is that what you're talking about? One of the stories.
One of the stories is that the lady dressed up as a maid.
Yeah, and she didn't. She thought, oh, well, okay, I won't.
And where'd you get that outfit, by the way?
Yeah, right. Where's that from? And then it's cute at McMenamins as well. Some of the maids have said, they get frustrated because they'll, especially on the third floor, because they make the beds and then they come back with some of the towels or whatever, and the beds are unmade. So they get frustrated, or they'll put the glasses up and they'll turn around to do something else and the glasses will be moved. So I think maybe one of the old staff members has a different protocol of how to do setup. So.
Or thinking, oh, I know one, and I don't think we talked about this one before, but you know where Noah's is? Is he in your book?
No, I couldn't get a hold of him in time for him to
has Bobby ever told you that story? That when they were first acquiring furniture for that place, she said that, she'd, go to estate sales and different kinds of things. You know how it's furnished, was sort of old-fashioned. And she'd put it in there and she'd think, oh, this looks pretty good, da-da-da. And the next morning she'd come in to be completely different.
Oh, absolutely. That used to happen at the Cat's Meow as well.
Which is about that same space.
Exactly. And so it was Grandmother's Wedding Shop. And that story's in there as well, because those all were storefronts in front of McMenamins for many years.
Right.
And then the upstairs was totally unoccupied for many years. And there was a lot of water damage. And it was a great place for people to stay for free.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, when you think about that, if you are, I guess, if you were a spirit, and you have a place to yourself for an awful long time, what does it feel like when people come in?
I don't know. I would think that either they're going to be happy that they've got some company, or a little ticked off that they're being bothered. I'm sure it depends on the person, whoever's still there.
What
if
energy?
They're friendly, or if they're old sourpusses, or they're hanging on to something they were wronged or have some anger. I don't know, because you never know what you're going to get. But I'm very, very respectful, and because I know you never know what you're going to get. So I'm if something bad or ugly going on, I don't push my luck.
Just back off quietly and.
Absolutely.
Well, we're out of time, Tracy, but I want to thank you very much for being on the program again today. Always a pleasure to speak with you, and we'll look forward to all of the upcoming offerings that you have.
Oh, great.
Books and CDs and DVDs and programs, and thank you so much.
It's all fun. Thanks, Lynda.